Hey Bucks fans, Mr. Right here. So finally, hopefully, I'll be able to get to this video of Tom Brady versus his biggest rival. Now, as I mentioned before, I saw last week one of the national guys say that Tom's biggest rival was time, or Father Time, and they, were talking about, you know, nobody defeats Father Time, and it's the ultimate rival because you can't beat it. It's going like Father Time's going to get you, and it got me thinking, and it hit me pretty hard on a very deep, almost metaphysical level of what was going on with that, and why that was to me. When I heard him say that, it clicked, and I thought, wow, Tom Brady picked a target that is impossible to reach, and he's going to try to make the biggest dent in it as he possibly can. And it has spurred him onto this greatness that has been basically the last 10 years of his career. Like, yeah, he's made 10 Super Bowls and he's won 7. But it was like in the first part of his career, he made 3, and it was a lot to do with the strength of the defense, and Tom Brady was learning the NFL, and he had winning ways. He had just a winning mentality back then. But it was always he was always trying to find something to go for that was beyond himself. And he used the quote unquote the chip on his shoulder. There's been a lot of talk about that, and I think that's something to do with that, because it's almost like everybody wants to be the champion, right? But you need, not only do you need that goal out in front of you, you also need something behind you pushing you forward. And so that's what the chip on the shoulder has been for Tom. At least that's kind of how I envision it, how I think it's happening. Is the chip on his shoulder is the thing behind him pushing him forward. Because if he lets that chip on his shoulder win, he loses. And he doesn't want to do that. So not only does he want to be the champion, but he's also got that chip on his shoulder. And I think the past few years, one of the biggest chips on his shoulder has been, you're not going to defeat Father Time. It's going to get you. And Tom Brady's personal goal, I think, and I've been saying this for about a year, the thing that he wants to do is he wants to play for as long as humanly possible. Now, what I've been saying before, this take kind of revealed, the take last week kind of revealed it for me as I'm thinking about it now. Before last week, I was thinking Tom Brady is trying to set himself up for post-football life, which is his TB12 program, which is a sports science. It's about managing your body, making it more elastic, so you can take the hits for longer. You don't get as injured as often. That kind of thing. His avocado ice cream shit. It's like, so that's what I thought it was before. But I think now with this take that I heard last week, that his rival is Father Time, it was pretty impressive to me, that because he's actually trying to do it. He's actually trying, because it fit with what I knew from before. And I mean, there's even I think a documentary out there now. It might have been maybe a couple years ago. It was Tom Brady versus Time. So this has been on his plate for a while now. I think it's been on his plate for probably about 5 or 6 years now, because that, he was in his late 30s. That's when QBs retire, blah blah blah. Peyton Manning had just retired, and so there it is. It's spurring him to maintain his greatness for as long as possible, and he's going to try and make the biggest dent in Father Time that we're probably going to see, and it's going to be something rare, and it's going to be something to kind of be in awe of, inspired by, to reach for that thing that's beyond your grasp, and to have it spur you to greatness. And that's probably the lesson that I think that the rest of us can learn from this. What goal is beyond your grasp? You know, shoot for the stars, you'll end up on the moon, that kind of thing. And I mean, Tom Brady's out there, he's doing it. And here's the other part that's overlooked a lot. Think about what he had to do to sacrifice for this, because that's one of the big keys. You want something, you really want it, you can get it, but you're going to have to sacrifice to do it. So, just something to think about, guys. Anyway, Tom Brady versus time, Tom's biggest rival. It's a doozy. It's an impossible one, but he's trying, and he's, at the moment, he's getting a lot of success.